barn. You'll get the answers from your spirit boxes. So, who the heck were Eliza and Charles Pinckney? First off, they had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. In the event somebody hears or sees the name Charles, I need to know which one it is. That makes sense why I look for those secondary clues, because all 3 of them are completely different from the other. And the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a big deal for us, but I hate politics. We're going to move on. We're not going to talk politics. Yay. We're going to talk about Eliza. She has a much better story. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. If you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from, like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards, because the husband was over double her age when they married. Creepy age gap then, yes, thank you for the grimace, and a creepy age gap now. So just kind of giving you a clue, I guess is the right, term here. But anyway, she married him because her father was over in England, and he thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all his children home one last time so he could see them. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, and she got married and stayed put. It's 1744. You don't get married in that particular year to get a green card. And 8.9? Nice. So that's your new base. Don't forget that makes blue dye that makes our blue gin. We use it for today. So some of you are wearing it tonight. When she got the seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. At least how to keep it cultivated, because it's not always hot here. Yeah, you definitely. They all get compressed together if you get like that. But anyway, and then she had to learn how to make the dye. And once she learned how to make the dye, she moved into a cash crop plantation, and then got a hold of her father overseas and sold him the rice plantations here going downhill. We're having a killing of the indigo, and we now have an international business unit during colonial times, which is something absolutely unheard of. So there's the boring business stuff of Miss Eliza Hampton. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are all here. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give the 3 communication devices a series of questions to focus on. I want you to keep in mind that we have 3 communication devices, 2 cameras, and my voice recorder. Your answers can go anywhere. So Krista, if you ask a question like how old she was when she got married, it might come here, or Caitlin might hear it, and so forth and so on. It doesn't always go to just your device. So that's why we do it this way with multiple communication devices. Your TV shows, we normally put up 1 spirit box, ask a question, and wait 5 minutes, then commercial break. You kind of get my point. This is why I love to use multiple communication devices. So we'll actually start with your specific device, because it's a lot different than theirs. So your device obviously gives us specific words. So what we've seen in the past from this is Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. His first wife died in January. 5 months later, he marries the one we just talked about. So kind of a jerk move or a smart move, depending on what kind of guy you are. Ironically, both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. To figure out which Eliza we're dealing with, I'm also going to give you and you'll get the maiden name. We've seen both of them show up there in the past. I'm also going to give you the marriage questions, so that's how old Eliza was, or Charles, or how long their marriage lasted. So I will tell you that it lasted until Charles' death, and she remained a widow. This is a true love story. Please do not poke the bear in here when it comes to the marriage, and we're not going to be asking anything about her children. We'll explain her children before we leave the space. Please do not poke the bear. We are too close to a tragedy date. So 5'9", I'm going to have the other side. We started off with 8.9, 11, 8. The next one, please. Maybe you'll get some messages through what you're actually working with. So we'll kind of see how this goes. So the EMF detector that Isaac is using, if you were to actually place that behind your TV set, you're going to get a reading of about 40 to 60 millivolts. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much electricity your TV set's off. Now, for a microwave that's running, heating up the food, about 150 to 170. The highest I've ever seen that device go in my 11 years of ghost hunting has been in this location. Keep in mind, I don't just hunt in Charles. So it went all the way up to 214 milligauss. It's like putting your head inside the bunny microwave. The average life for this location is between 18 to 22, 5 out of 7 nights a week. So you never know where it's actually going to spike up. You've obviously already given us a 22 point something. So your baseline is going to be 20 at this point. Once we reach 25, that'll be the base moving forward for the time over here. So kind of keep that in mind. I am actually excited about this. So just
The number's gonna go higher.
Yeah, it could be. It's kind of a big stretch, but we'll take it. I like how you're piecing it together. So we are going to spread out in this location. Cameras, especially, are not going to go in between vehicles or near vehicles whatsoever. But basically, Isaac's going to go over all the hotspot. Obviously, we'll go over all the hotspot guards. Last night, and I only do one round robin in here simply because I keep agreeing with Miss Eliza. I'll tell you that this was a space I was looking to retire just because I was getting disrespectful people in here and getting disembodied voices on there that were kind of giving us 23 minutes.
28 pencils.
So those disembodied voices were like, please just leave us alone, and it was going over 13 different radio stations. Obviously, I had the software to do it.
35.9.
Holy cow. Listening to me and crank the volume 35.9. So that bass is still going to be 25. But yeah, I actually gave the space a little bit of a rest for a few weeks, and then I came back and said my piece. And I decided, every single night before I meet up with you guys, I get through here, and I just otherwise I know how many people I'm bringing, and I kind of rattle off the names. So that way it's kind of an introduction before you guys even get here. It's the only space that I do that with because of the amount of respect that I have for it. I know it's just an empty parking lot for you guys, but I come here every single night and visiting the mansion that everyone's here. So I say we spread out, let's have some fun. I was thinking anything higher than 35. I think I need to actually work with anybody.
38.9.
First, now I get something else higher. The only problem with you getting these readings back here is we're in the servant and slave quarters, and there's no record of the servant. So again, it's not that I'm not excited about it, I just can't prove anything in the event somebody hears something. What do you think, you two? I know that this is exactly what you two signed up for.
Yeah.
It's usually the question I ask, like, hey, is this what you thought you signed up for? Because obviously you see the types of families that I get.
I'm very excited.
So, but again, always like help her out because being a videographer in real time isn't always the most exciting job. But I always give you guys exactly what you ask for. So if you ask me for a specific advice, I make sure it goes your way.
It's hard because it's going pretty fast.
It's actually at its slowest
I know,
level.
which is weird because it's real fast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly a lot of like static, and it keeps getting on songs and like the screaming parts of songs or like the crying parts of songs.
Okay. Well, the crying part makes sense to me for sure. By the way, we are. No, it's actually the exact opposite. I'll talk about home cases before we leave. I just have to.
Well, it's for a nurse. It's not a good thing for a nurse.
Yeah, usually in the community service, paramedics and anything in the medical field. But yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to both of you.
I just got 31.7.
You should ask a question. I heard not this. I said to focus on my dad.
How did you die?
We were just talking about the moon, were we not?
Yeah.
She just heard the word moonshine. What do you got on your end?
When did you die?
Not leaving yet, Miss Eliza.
Heads up.
Watch the car. We're gonna go to the back. Ooh, they came in really quick. Onion. I don't know. I don't know that she would have planted onions here. She may have, but I don't see that as being a thing. I really don't. It's weird. I don't think I've ever seen that ceremony.
Remember me.
We are trying to remember you, Miss Eliza. Yet? Sorry for rushing us back here again. I just didn't want to go ahead and get hit by the car. I say we definitely spread out. I want to see what else Isaac can get.
Yeah, I just got remember.
54? Huh? How did you die? Can you show?
Nothing so far.
Again, no matter how silly you think it might be, it's usually where, you know, the best stuff actually comes out of. So, and the nice thing is you're gonna have a whole different set because yours and Sophie's aren't synced. So you're gonna get her recording back to basically try it all over again.
Oh, to hear it, yeah.
It's got 79.2.
Yeah, I think we need to wrap this one up for sure. Those are getting a little high. What do you got?
Love goes on.
Those are 79.1,
79.2.
79.2, and then love goes on. So those are getting a little high for my comfort zone. So we're gonna go to the exact point where we started, away from this dumpster, so we don't have to sniff it while we're going over the answers.
When you say your comfort zone, why?
I have epilepsy. It's too much EMF in the air for me to be.
Gotcha.
Sophie, anything? Nothing at all that whole time?
No, there's angels.
Okay.
I heard other stuff that I forgot.
Krista, give us the last 4 or 5 terms you got.
Collaboration, wishing, freedom, prepare.
Bruno?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah. Prepare.
I don't have to write yours down because it's doing it for me. So yeah, now you guys can see why I told you to like be discreet with your recording. So you guys got the gist of it. So, but welcome to Philadelphia Alley. Every tour comes down here. It's a staple for every single ghost tour. Just so you know, we're all going to be talking about the same thing. Only I'm going to give you a little bit more detail because you're ghost hunting. You guys are going to need those details for when we go over to the next location at the next phase. So when another tour comes through here, because that's as far as we're allowed to go, by the way, they will exit this way. We'll just split the seas and let them pass through. What filter do you have on there? Yeah, go ahead and swipe. Go ahead and stop the recording. Infrared. It shows up purple, so I just try to make sure like the difference of the cameras is very easy to spot. But yeah, it's basically.
Do I need to try to keep everything kind of in focus here?
Central. So what I'm looking for in this guy, because there is so much foliage, is down the center. So if there's literally no human that I can see down there, I'm looking for anomalies that are showing up in the center of the alley instead of on the sides, in the bushes and the leaves and all of those extra things. Now, Philadelphia Alley used to be called Dueler's Alley. That's why everybody comes down here. So again, every tour tells the same story. I'm going to give you the same story, just a little bit different. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you listening on your spirit boxes, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. It's actually part of his name. So you guys are getting the gist of like how the things that we listen to on these spirit boxes, we get it all the time. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. So he comes to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. And yeah, I don't do jump scares either, just in case you guys were wondering what those large groups are doing all up there. That's what they all do. They do these theatrical whatever. So yeah, this way you guys know you're not going to be missing out on anything. So But anyway, he comes to Charleston, and as he's coming into town, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to take his stay in Charleston. Somebody was walking by. His name is Ralph Isaacs. So when I seen your name on tonight's list, I was like, woohoo, we have a connection. We'll see if it actually occurs. So I'm going to stop on Ralph for just a second because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. So the letters RI were showing up on our spirit boxes all the time. So to verify that, I bought a new device, and it's basically a digital Ouija board, which obviously gives you letters based on EMF detection. We've had it several times while I'm giving Ralph's part of the story, so take that for what it's worth. We're not using it tonight because I thought it's a little bit more elaborate for the group in front of me, for you guys, so I was kind of like, yeah, let me hold back on that. But anyway, somebody's having a good time over there, right? Sorry about that. That's not something I can control, but we stopped here for the gate on purpose, so I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street, and you can rent a room from some friends of mine, and you'll be good and safe to go. The doctor took him up on the offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. So he's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. And I'll pause there while they actually pass through. So just watch your cameras, please. Tally, you're actually upside down there.
Taylor.
Hmm?
Taylor, you're
gotta be up
upside
top.
down.
So you want to stop your video and flip it. Anyway, back to Ralph and the doctor. They became friends. Again, the longer he stays here, he's making more money, and he becomes known as the whistling doctor because Amanda's going to be moving down soon so they can get married because he's making his own money. He's proving his point. So this is also called the whistling doctor. You can Google it, and this is the story you're going to get. But every ghost tour that comes down here tells their guests, listen for the whistles. The beauty of us, we have 2 video cameras and my voice recorder. Not to mention 2 spirit boxes that may give us the word whistle and the word doctor right after it. We've had it several times. So if the whistle's going to be there, it's going to be on the audio of a camera or my voice recorder. So kind of keep that in mind. Back to Ralph and the doctor. They go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the way the hierarchy works in Charleston. So they talk about the plays on the way home. One night they go see Richard III. They're talking about the new actress that was in town. The doctor thought she was great, but Ralph didn't. So they start arguing, and then Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. It gets very ugly. They go their separate ways. Ralph has friends here. He goes to his friends at the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. He's a disgrace to society kind of thing. The doctor saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Jeweler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. Keep in mind that this whole argument started over an actress. So, he came down. What are you doing, guys? He came down, they pushed her 10 paces away from each other. They turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, which is often what happened. However, Ralph has his one bullet in his flintlock. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor doesn't die, but he drops to the ground, and Ralph proved his point. He's not willing to forgive. The doctor's friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. Why did he refuse medical treatment? He's a doctor, and it's 1786. Gunshot wounds were a lot different back then. He probably just tried to bleed out the lead poisoning himself. So, like I said, every tour will tell you to listen for the whistles. If you're going to try this on your own and try to go through the whole alley and listen for those whistles on your voice recorders from your phones, just keep in mind every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley. I do it every single night, and half the group that just walked by us did the exact same thing. So there's a reason why I actually got kicked out of here. So there's a reason why we only go down halfway. Let me kind of get into that. And Chris is like, that sounds like fun. It gets in trouble. So the alley didn't always go all the way through from the way we came in. There was a wall there because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So this, obviously they had to keep them all penned in somehow. So that means the bricks on the other side are older than the bricks we're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's one full handprint down there and fingerprint swipes in other bricks. When I first started doing this, as far as the tours go, I would take my groups all the way to the end and kind of show them off because we all need to see how far we've come from slavery. I don't care about the diversity of my group, we all need to see it. However, that brick, I treat the same way I do a grave. That's the last place you're going to find it. So, everybody always wants to try to stop and do something with one of the devices that I'm handing out. And November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10 was huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoot them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and it's outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful, not realizing that I was out of bounds for tours. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because her dad's getting yelled at. He's at work. So she's all about it. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving simply because I worked in upper management for Walmart for a good part of 20 years. You can all understand my pain that I will never work another Thanksgiving in my life. However, the next day I called my partner that I had at the time and I told him what happened. He said, dude, you can't go down that far. You're only allowed to go down halfway. So go down halfway or reroute the group. To avoid the whole situation, I decided I'm going to reroute the group. But I told my party that night, because it's Black Friday, I'm sold out again, that I don't believe in the next story. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. Obviously, we're talking about pirates next. So, before we left, somebody hears the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate Anne Bonny. So I went, okay, maybe we have something going on. We get over there, I told them what little bit I did know about pirates at the time, because obviously not time to research, but somebody else, here's the number 300. I don't know what it means. I write it down, I do the research. We were there November 28th of 2020, Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. Now for some of you giving me that look like, okay, I could see that, I was actually pretty pissed off. Here's why. I told you, I'm not a pirate person. I have a master's degree in creative writing and English. I need facts and data even to create fiction. The problem for me for pirate stories, it's based off of pirate lore, which was written over 100 years after the events actually happened. So I've read more books on pirates, trying to make sure what we're going to be discussing is going to be legitimate for a paranormal investigation. Worst case scenario for you guys, you're going to learn a lot about pirates that you didn't know before, but it is a hit or miss location. Last night we actually did okay over there, but there are other nights where we don't get anything. That's why I kind of combined this one with that one. You may get things on your spirit boxes and EMF detectors based off of this location, but hopefully it's going to be mainly from Anne Bonny. Before we leave the space, because I know it's very hot down here and because it's really condensed, is the gate behind me. There's a reason why I fight to get this spot every night. Not everybody knows why this gate is here. Remember that the alley didn't go all the way through from where we came in. In the event there was a loser to a duel, this was the shortcut to get over to the cemetery on the other side of the wall. Otherwise, they'd have to go all the way down to Queen Street and then double back to get over to St. Philip's Cemetery. So this was kind of what I call the death gate. So the word death and gate have shown up here in the past. That's kind of how I nicknamed it. I'm like, all right, we'll take that. Just keep in mind that the wrought iron probably wasn't put there until the early 1900s, just based on the ironwork of it. But you can definitely see that the archway was part of the original wall. So it's just an interesting little fun fact about Charleston that nobody really knows why this gate is here, other than it's basically an easement for the church. So, you guys ready to learn about some rated R pirates and get out of this hot alley? Yep. Nobody got my punny? Nice. So my daughter would have been having a ball and calling me like that jokes. So. It was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny came here to start a new life. This is something familiar to her. This is why we're here. We don't have many buildings this old in general, but this one is specifically is just relative because it's a, I hate to put it this way, but it's part of the routes of where we're allowed to be, and it's something relevant because she's said to be seen here all the time. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? Not at all. I'll answer for you. But the history of that building actually, or the history that we're going to be discussing, starts right in the middle of that construction. Try to follow me on some of these twists because we were talking about a female pirate and it can get a little, I guess sketchy. So in 1708, a young lady moved here by Anne Cormack. She came here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far? See? Exciting. So, 7 point. Remind me to write that down. So anyway, I slowed down on that part because it's going to get even more twisted. 3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife. So how mad was she that they had to leave Ireland and come here by boat? Just pointing that out. So Aaron, be nice to her. She'll kick you out of the country. It might be to Canada, but she'll kick you out of the country. Anyway, they land in Georgetown. It's just between us and Myrtle Beach, so you guys don't have to stare at that building. I know you guys are all like turned back. I'm like, it's really weird. I'm talking to everybody's back in their heads. But anyway, so Georgetown, Dad bought a plantation, and Mom dies pretty quickly. That means he's sending young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from that plantation to help keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. Going back to Ireland, Anne was said to be a badass even at a young age. At the age of 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is ever going to be perfectly exact, that she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. So we have had servants, knife, and belly all show up on different spirit boxes, communication devices without the other 2 people knowing what's going on. So take that for what it's worth. Fast forward, the building's done in 13. By 1715, Charlestown is getting pirates. They're passing through. Anne is pretty stoked because she's going to fall in love so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. The first guy she falls in love with, and yes, I said first because there's a handful, that's what makes this story so interesting. We're going to discuss them all. First guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going. We've mentioned the pirate name already. Now, James Bonny is not, he's not very approved by her father, so they ran away to Jamaica and they got married. When she gets down there, she realizes that he's not Captain Jack Sparrow, like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy. He's a British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She wants a badass pirate. So a few more years go by and she falls in love again. This is John Rackham. Everybody calls him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, just in case you were wondering who this guy actually is. He has his own crew. He has his own ship. Anne wants to be part of the crew, but you can't put a girl on a pirate ship simply because it's bad luck. Normally I throw the question back to you guys to make sure who's paying attention, but we got kids in the audience and we don't need raunchy answers coming back. So why can't you throw a girl on a pirate ship? But anyway, he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, then you can be part of the crew, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. Most of us are adults here are going to get the rest of this, but put two and two together. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. They're going to get rid of Jack as captain because he let a girl on the ship. So they'll vote him off. He drops her off in Cuba before she starts the show. And says, have the baby here, come back later, we'll figure it out. She goes and has that baby, but returns without a child. We have no idea what happens to the baby, by the way. None of my research has ever found it. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack angry, because everybody's going to now know he let a girl on the ship. While she was gone giving birth, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck, and Anne's going to go flirting, because that's who Anne is. We're on guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack has captured. Now we have 2 females, just like males, on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. We have gotten both of those names at this location. So her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure, but the British find out where they are and send a fleet of ships to take down one pirate ship. Anne and Mary, rumor is, that they were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1 bullet flintlocks, because they don't know how to use cannons yet. They haven't been pirates for very long. Obviously, 2 ladies with 1 bullet guns are not going to work out very well. So they get arrested, and as they're being arrested, she looks at her captain, her beau, and says, Jack, I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up on your spirit boxes quite a bit. The judge wants to see the 2 men, quote unquote, that fought back so violently on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. Anne and Mary go in front and reveal their gender, that they're female, and the judge doesn't care. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. We plead our bellies, was what they shouted out to him, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail and delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count married because we don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending because we don't know much about her after her pirate career. Mary Reed dies 5 months later in April of 1721 from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. You can use your imagination because most books would tell you something very simple like it was a fever. I'm going to say BS. We're talking pirates. Let's make it romantic and call it scurvy. Why the hell not? So here's the things I left out of here for all you communication device people. And I'm not going to assign questions. This is not a prominent English woman. You don't need to tiptoe around, poke the bear a little bit, get the answers we need. I left out the name of her parents. That's the father and the mistress. So I left those out on purpose so you had something to work with. The name of Calico Jack's ship, the city where she grew up in Ireland, and the color of her hair, which is red. That's an easy one.
red right before you said that.
So that's because she knows I'm going to have you guys ask that damn question. Got to remember, I'm out here every single night. These ghosts know I'm coming. Do not be surprised if you also hear my name or see my name in this location. It shows up in one of 3 ways. I guess in relativity to one of 3 ways. There are 3 different nicks tied to this area, me being one of them. So it can come up. I just need a secondary clue so I know who it belongs to, whether it be me or one of the other 2 nicks. I'll explain that if we get that and before we leave the space. Keep out of the way of the other tours. We're lucky enough where there's no vehicles, but we are going to spread out. Isaac, you already kind of have your rules. So you got a 7.8 earlier. Am I correct on that? Have I screwed up anybody's name yet, by the way? I think I have you all down pretty good. All right, so
Taylor instead of Tyler.
did I call you Tyler?
It always
So sorry,
happens.
dude. I didn't mean to.
Doesn't matter.
Interesting.
The first
Okay.
time it was perfect.
Yeah. Because it's in my brain as Taylor, so I'm so sorry.
Fine.
All right, let's spread out. Let's have some fun. Let's do this. I must have said it because you both said that. I'm like, oh shit. No,
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything, and then she said it.
It's close enough.
It's not close enough. I mean, it's no. I want you guys calling me Rick all night. So
Do you, I mean, I can't. Is that one of those?
that's a normal size ghost door.
Good lord.
Now, it may seem like even a little, like when I get my full 12, because I just started going to 12 people during the week, It might seem like it's a little heavy, but then we run into groups like that, and they're like, "Oh my God, thank God you remembered all of us." You know what I mean? Because there's no way that person's doing that. I wouldn't be able to do 20 people every night, but going to 12 was kind of a stretch. You know, my wife's like, "You have enough gear now to 12."
I was gonna say,
Start emptying the bag.
I don't know how you do 12.
It's actually pretty decent because I mean I'm dealing mainly with spirit boxes.
What did you say?
Yep, I just got Walker. I don't know why. And I hadn't heard Isaiah before that.
I know why you have Walker.
Interesting.
And then they keep playing Karma is a God. That song by Taylor Swift.
Karma?
Just asked who her parents were.
It's not. But there's like 15 stories on it.
Whoa. What color was your hair? What was your ship's name? Why did you have so many lovers? Were you unhappy? I'll switch. I'm ADHD, so it's hard to
We just can't focus on too many things at once, obviously.
it's hard to listen to you and do this.
Oh, you don't even have to focus on that. Just hold it. As long as it's recording.
No, him. He can't do it. He can't do many
Hold it
things
and
at
listen?
once. Yeah.
Listen to you and listen to this.
So that ivy wall, that's the one that's not your best friend.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Lots of leaves. Yeah, feel free to move them around, guys. I want you to experiment with them.
Can you show yourself? You should show yourself. Wherever you are.
Just try to help them. I got the number 60. And right after that, try to help them.
Come on. Anything? Anything at all? Come on.
He wanted the.
Just y'all so far.
So yeah, being as still as you are is like perfect. Yeah, that's a great view actually.
There's too many people out here, isn't there? And this bothering y'all. Are you irritated? Do you wish these people would go away? We should just...
So here's what I think is going on here. So Taylor coming back with the green light here. So Taylor heard the number 60 twice, and then you heard the name Walker.
Mhm.
Out of that. It has nothing to do with the pirate history that we just talked about. It's actually one of the stories that every ghost horror will tell you at the end of their big finale. I don't always tell it because I kind of let them have it because it kind of gives them something to show. But there's a sign across the street at the cemetery. It says there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. So we did get that word church as well. We do get a lot of religious terms when we're over here in St. Philip's, but it could be just a, hey, this is what it pertains to. So the sign says there's no ghost here simply because they don't want guys like me trying to recreate what actually happened. So here's how it goes. 1888, a young lady dies by the name of Sue Howard Hardy Walker. Sue Howard Walker Hardy was her full name. So she heard the name Walker, and She died on June 16th of 1888. So you hearing the number 60 could be possibly 16. Again, without me hearing it for myself, it's going to be hard to determine, but you don't have the recordable one, so won't be able to find it. So it is kind of a sketch. But with that said, 1987, 99 years later, a local photographer was taking pictures of all of our cemeteries, putting a book together, and he did capture a full apparition in one of his photographs. He sent it off to Kodak because it's 1987. He doesn't have the tech that we have now to be able to analyze photographs, and Kodak was able to authenticate the picture that was taken from the camera that he said he did, and it was not altered in any way. So every tour will tell you about this photograph. Part of the reason why I don't show it is because the photo is cursed to females. So again, you guys have to remember that this is what I do for a living. That's what those guys are doing at night as their side hustle. So the photograph is said to be cursed to females, that if they handle it, even in a digital format, that they get the same symptoms we talked about at the beginning. So headache, nausea, dizziness. So when I give you guys the link for this, it will say warning cursed photo in link. So that way you guys can, not open it on your phones and your tablets. Use a computer or have somebody else show you. But pregnant females are said to not have a good pregnancy based on the gist of the story, because Sue dies 6 days after her stillborn child. So again, I'm not going to be the guy where somebody had a great vacation and 9 months later I cursed their family. You're getting my point. So I'm going to show you guys the picture. You guys can huddle in a little bit. I will kind of go around. The only thing I'll ask is just don't touch the damn camera. Yeah, the photos first. Again, I don't tell the story every night until things start to show up and looks like she just wants to stay away. So here is your full apparition. That's the picture that he took, and you're looking at a woman praying over her own grave with a baby basket sitting next to her. So when you look up for guys like me that study, like, hey, give me the top 100 best apparitions ever caught, this is usually at least in the top 3. So again, very distinctive picture, but they're like handing this picture out from the phone. I mean, I wouldn't do it. So obviously, Caitlin is uncomfortable with seeing it, so she's going to stay over there. But you guys get my point. I'm going to cover the answers for the pirates, and then I'm going to tell you about the next location. So Caitlin, you can come over now. The picture. What we're going to be doing at the next location is a little bit different than what we've been doing. So you guys may be familiar with this. I don't know about you guys, but we're going to be doing the Estes method. So the Estes method is basically where I'm going to take 2 people. One will be blindfolded and have noise-canceling headphones over their ears with a spirit box, and they're not going to know the history of the location. So when you guys are kind of hopping this around, I'm seeing like who is going to be the best candidate for this, and I'm going to let you guys decide based on who that is, because you're going to be the person that's going to be blindfolded. And then the person on this end is not going to be blindfolded, but they're going to have a VR head cam using AI that's going to create images based on the magnetometer inside of my phone around us. So it is a new enhancement to the Estes method. Those 2 people are not going to know the history of the location, so that way they're not going to be looking for specific things. I'll tell the other 4 people what's going on with the history of that location. It's like a 5-minute spiel because it's the new location of the year. I don't know everything yet. And then we're going to go back and talk to the person from your team as if they're the ghost that we're trying to hunt down that is blindfolded. So right now that person will be Isaac because he's holding the spirit box. You guys can decide along the way who it's actually going to be. But I'm guessing it's not going to be you, Sophie, because you I'm not really super great at this. But it is an interesting experiment for sure. And then of course the SLS camera will be filming the entire thing, and the 2 people that are going to be under aren't going to know the history until they give you your data back the next day, unless of course somebody in your family is going to tell you when you guys get back to your hotel to see how relevant it actually was. So it's a very interesting experiment. Actually, this is part of the reason why people are signing up with me now, because I'm doing the Estes method and I create all of the equipment to be able to do this. But it is a very fun, even for the rest of us that are not under, we're going to be watching to see how this actually works and plays out. It's a lot of fun, but it can be, how do I put this way? It's probably one of the scarier parts of what we're going to be doing, because if Isaac's going to start spouting off answers to questions that I'm asking, and he doesn't know what I'm asking, it's going to show like he's actually talking for the ghost at that particular point, instead of just getting random words from time to time while you're asking questions out loud. The rest of us are going to be seeing it in real time. So, Anne Bonnie. Man, you guys were a super quiet group. Anne Bonnie, one of the few pictures you can find of this young lady where she actually has a shirt on, because she used to bare her breast to show men that they were just killed by a woman. So that's kind of why there's a lot of pictures of her where she's flashing the person she just killed. I get a lot of teenage boys on this tour. I don't need an angry mom. So this is one of the few pictures you can find of her that way. The names of her parents were William Cormack, Mary Brennan. This was not another subliminal trick with the Mary. We just happen to have 2 of them. So Mary Cormack, or Mary Reed from the ship, and Mary Brennan was a servant for the Cormack family. So you can already picture that scandal of how that came to be, so to speak. I I'd also give you the Calico Jack picture so you guys can see what they based Johnny Depp off of, because that's just hilarious, and everybody wants to see it. Calico Jack was named that because of the jackets that he wore. They came from the British captains that he killed. So his father was a tailor, so textiles were very important to him. So Calico Jack translates to fancy jacket. That's where the name comes from. The name of his ship was called the Kingston. I do not expect the word Kingston to show up on any of the communication devices that we're using specifically tonight. I do have others that may pick it up because it would be more of a disembodied voice, but with the radio stations, it's definitely not going to come up as Kingston. I would expect the word king, and I would take that as a direct answer, simply because it's like, what color is a big red barn? Blood. It's the same mentality, you get my gist. Kingston is just not a word that we hear on our radio stations. The name of the city where Anne grew up is in Cork, Ireland. So that's your final answer, because you already knew that her hair color was red, which I do believe I forgot to write that one down, so I'll write that when we walk. Any other major questions on pirates before we go blindfold some people? Creep some of you out? Krista, you're like, ready. Your facial expressions are just awesome, because I never know like what you're thinking. You're like, oh my god, like it's always like a pause moment. So again, between the two of you, like on your end, Taylor and Caitlin, you guys are going to figure out who's going to be under the VR headset, and then on your end, you guys are going to figure out who's going to be the blindfolded one.
You can do the VR because you're used to it.
I'll do it.
Okay. I love that. I volunteer, and it's the Hunger Games.
I'm used to it. Yeah.
My back's just hurting really bad. Ever since we left the other place, it's just killing me.
So we're going to be heading over to Washington Park. It's about 2.5 blocks from here. It's the longest hike we do. That's the park I was telling you about earlier. But we're going to be passing by the circular church graveyard if anybody wants to take pictures of it or shoot any film from it. There is said to be a Civil War ghost in there. I've just never caught anything while I've been there. Numerous times with all of the video you guys shoot for me. I've never seen anything, but if you guys want to get it for your own footage, by all means do so. I'm just not going to lose pace so we can get to the park. So let's go blindfold some folks. Let's have some fun with this. Get you guys riled up a little bit.
Should I turn this off?
Yeah, you don't want to be thrown. By the way, you know, the name you're on, and when you come back over, the name of it's good when I'm just blindfolding people in the middle of the dark park. So again, of course, they come through here. That guy, then this is going to be your noise canceling headphones, which somebody's going to have to help put these on him once we get him blindfolded. So I'm just setting these over here now. I'm going to have to give you guys a few tricks of what to expect out of this whole session. And we'll open up even further. So I'm going to open up everything off. So you're going to be using my phone on the my phone because we have to set it up. But I'm going to have to give you guys a few tips and tricks when we come back. You guys can become besties in the next 5 minutes, and we'll be right back. So everybody follow me. We're going to go this way. Coming together. We're blindfolding people. But the first time I did come in here, I only had 2 people. Right after Halloween is when I started researching the next week for next year. But I only had 2 people that specific night. And the young lady using the spirit box that you originally had heard the year 1828 in the name Henry. I was using the digital word list. I had the name Tim on there. Behind me is a bust of Henry Timrod, born in 1828. So it was kind of like all right, there's my book. There's what we're talking about. So, quick things you need to know about him. He was a writer. And he was very sick for most of his life. Being born in 1828, he's old enough to go fight in the Civil War. He goes to fight on the battlefield for the Confederates, and his comrades realize he's too sick to fight. So they sent him home. They knew he was a writer. They said, go be the voice of the war. They wanted him to write about what was going on in the battlefield. He started writing poetry about what was going on out there. He became known as the laureate of the Confederacy. It's a pretty high title for us writers. A few years go by and he has a son. His son's name is Willie. He was born on Christmas Eve, and he died 9 months later. The camera is upside down. The camera always has to be on your left. So it's okay. You guys are going to have a bunch of upside down videos. Stop the recording if you're recording and then start it back up again. The 9 months later on the trial was obviously a big tragedy for Henry and his wife Kate. So very interesting that he was the one who volunteered, because I know your name is Caitlin. But again, same with the K in there. It's kind of like, maybe we'll have another connection. But at any rate, few more years go by and he's still not writing as much as he normally is published and basically contracted to do. And his college friend realizes that because he's also a writer. He says, go out to my cottage and you can work on the piece you're supposed to be working on and get caught up, and goes out there and he wrote his last words. His last words were "beholder of brief mortality," and that basically translates to "person of a short life." And he coughs, and it lands on the page in a bloodstain, and he dies at the foot of the roses. So that bloodstain is what makes the story so interesting, because it looks like a man writing at his desk. They show this book one day a year at the Charleston Library Society. They call it the Blood Book, and you have to be a member of the society to be able to go see it. However, the internet is beautiful. I'm going to show you the page, and then we're going to hopefully go make contact with Mr. Simrod and see if we can get out of Isaac over there. By the way, Caitlin, your camera, part of the reason why we have it is because of this location. Somebody brought one of the big chunky ones here one night on my tour, just testing everything out, and we had a full 8-minute interaction inside the gate here of a person about my height.
Oh.
You guys can see definitely looks like a man writing at his desk. So that's the blood stain in case you wanted to see it. So yeah, that's the full page where it says "beholder of brief mortality," and that's the blood stain he leaves behind. So, but when I say 8-minute interaction, that's where we got the "if you're Henry, please raise your right hand," and he raised his right hand. The only way he disappeared was because the only female in the group that night went to the side and offered her hand to be shaken, and he disappeared, and we never got him back. So remember the times he came from where it was probably disrespectful for a female to offer her hand that way, and that's why he wasn't coming back. So it's very interesting how this all goes down. I'm actually excited that nobody is actually here with us tonight as far as other tours go, because this guy's pretty shy and timid. Usually takes me a minute or two to get him to start to come through and start piecing everything together. We will stay huddled in really tight for those two, because I don't want the other tourists to see me blindfolding people, if you guys get the point of that. And you're going to basically stay filming the entire time. So with yours, Miss Sophie, I mean, you can film anything because they're going to want a clear picture, which is why obviously we're using, your particular camera. They're going to have their skeletons in there, but at least it'll be a much clearer picture than the blowing, blobs on her frame. Yeah, you'll stop it for now, and then if you want to get started again once I get these guys all geared up, then by all means do so. So let's go talk to Henry and let's see what we can get out of this. Somebody will tap you on the shoulder. So
Oh, do you just want me to start talking about the stuff that
yeah,
I'm hearing?
yeah. Once we get started. But yeah, if you're talking too loud, remember whisper. We can hear you, and we're filming the whole thing. So if we can't hear you, you may lift up your earmuff a little bit and say, "Go ahead, speak a little bit louder."
Yeah.
But we will be filming the entire thing for you. But you will be telling us everything you're hearing in real time. This is also another okay situation where you can answer in yes/no questions because you have no idea what I'm going to be asking. So I may ask things in real time like, "Hey, so and so, am I wearing a gray shirt?" I'm expecting a yes/no answer. If that makes sense. So just tell us everything you're hearing at the same time. On your end, you're going to be using my phone. Give us very brief descriptions of the image that's being created for you. Have you guys ever seen AI at work before? So, and it may seem a little weird, but you guys have never seen AI before and how it works. So there's a lot of new imaging that's coming up, which is where this app has been created from. So I'll play. I made one of them. So you can kind of see this is what it's going to happen. This is what you're going to be seeing up here, and every image is going to be completely different. So as they start to pop up, you'll see them kind of move a little bit. There we go. So you'll be telling us exactly what you're seeing.
Wait, how am I supposed to know when you ask the question?
He won't.
Oh, so I just
That's
start
the
talking?
point.
Yeah, you just talk.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy for you.
Okay.
All right. So for you, take out the earbud, and it's going to be blindfold first, then earbuds. Set your volume, and then somebody's going to put the noise canceling headphones on. As soon as you start hearing things, you're going to start talking. So just remember to talk. So let me get yours set up, and I'll slide my phone in there. Yep. Both earbuds.
Oh, okay.
So this portion of it, I've only done a few times, so about a week's worth, and it has been successful. I would say about 90% of the time on the seer, the AI part of it. Perfect. So you're going to see gray clouds, like gray smoke in the background. I did that so you guys won't fall asleep under there. So that's going to be the normal. You need to tell us everything else that you see besides the gray smoke. Okay. He can hear you. He's good. All right. So we have started. So yeah, Crystal, whatever. It's 10:46 right now. So I timed this for 10 minutes. It's the only thing I timed. But if he doesn't repeat an answer that I'm waiting for, it may show up on your box as well. So we are looking to speak to Henry Timrod. You need to come through and tell us your occupation, please.
Cover.
Henry Timrod.
Dark.
This is Isaac. He can hear you.
Hot.
Pretty good at this. Let's get chips in. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you where they just.
Crowd. Hearing.
Henry Timrod. Push through. Tell us your occupation, please.
Deep. All my life.
What did you do while you were
Joy.
Okay.
Hit.
Henry, which family member do you want us to ask about
Speaks.
first?
Breaking news.
Any images yet?
Yeah. I'm seeing an image of a bird in a window.
Dogs here.
It's like a colonial.
Late.
I'll take that.
Gone.
Who do we have here with us?
Love.
Can you tell us the first name, please?
Move.
What is your first name?
Wood. To the guy. Job. Done.
Yes, we're asking about your job. What did you do for your job?
Recording.
Henry, Timrod, I need you to push through and either tell us which family member you want us to ask about or something you want to discuss.
Air. Florida. Morning. Friday. Chance.
Who do we have here with us? We need some proof of who's actually here.
Mark. Turn.
Henry Timrod, you can push through.
Charleston.
Well, that's the way. It's too easy. Can you tell me about the bird in the window? What does that mean? In the image that was shown? It was a bird, right?
It's like it looks like the head
Celebrate.
the head of an eagle or.
Taylor.
Do we have somebody else here with us besides Henry Timrod?
Last night.
Who else do we
Corner. Volkswagen.
down there?
I
Down
see.
there?
I see like something that looks like Bigfoot.
Her.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Another.
And it's
Bless. Girl. Me.
Henry Timrod. Isaac is hearing a lot of words. Feel free to kick in with us.
Sirens.
Tell us what
All Americans.
all Americans want.
Say it. Weeks. Complications. Long live.
I need to know if we have somebody else here with us. That's a
Speed.
yes no question. Is somebody else here besides Henry Timrod?
Wake. Kinetics. Hip. Read.
Take Reed. Henry?
USSR.
Henry, is that Reed in relative to you?
Less.
That's a yes
Farm.
no answer. So you know, everybody, this is
Personalized.
completely unsuccessful so far. We're at 5 minutes.
Jesus.
We are near a church.
Moon.
Henry Timrod, none of these words are making sense.
Rock.
I need you to clarify what any of these words are supposed to mean. Tell us your occupation or anybody that you would like us to ask about so we can learn more about you. Again, not looking for parlor tricks, we're looking for a conversation. Would you like me to ask about your wife? That's a yes, no question.
Private.
Stay away from your wife.
4.5.
Kenzie? Collection.
Who do we have here with us? Do we actually have
19.9.
19.9. We've seen all the way up to 167. So I'll take 19. Sure. Henry,
Lawrence.
tell us about your son. What was his name? How old he was? When his birthday?
Said.
Give us some kind of proof that you're actually here listening to us. Ooh, Joel's
Sheriff. Never too late.
Henry, if you're not here and you're somebody else, say yes.
We learned.
How I learned about you.
Special request.
Yeah, I'm asking who the hell's here.
Tad.
Really good. I'll say that.
Listen.
Hard time to listen. I'm not telling us anything.
Sorry. Mosquito.
Rat.
Henry, we're going to wrap this up if you're not going to give us anything. You can show us images through the green box that you attached to Taylor's face. Or you can tell us messages that I can listen to through his little things in his ears.
Heard.
Yes, the ones in his ears. Hear you. And we prefer images at this point. You're not really giving us anything.
Love UN. Peaches and eggplants. That's what light. Craving.
Assuming you got something over your head. Oh, you got something.
Custodino.
Henry, I'm
Dodge belongs.
not going to ask any more questions until you give us some kind of proof that you're here. Ask
Door.
Ask about your occupation. Ask about your son and your wife. Feel free to give me any answers to any one of those people or your job. Down to about a minute. About a minute left.
He's kind of
Henry,
ghosting
last
Taylor.
chance to kind of
He's
give us
not
any-
doing anything over
I
there.
know. I know.
Rock. Mood.
Taylor, nothing even thinking about coming through.
Loose clouds.
Drowning.
Oh wait.
Wait till
Written
you
on the back.
Looks really. It's like.
Nobody like you.
It looks like a Bigfoot
Thin,
walking with
loose.
another woman. Like it's
College.
very odd.
Another Sasquatch?
Like a Sasquatch walking with a woman in normal clothes. Like it's like the weirdest fucking thing. Excuse my language. But it's weird.
Stand.
It's the only way I can describe it.
We're all gonna see it here in a minute.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, no.
Two Sasquatches in one evening. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Heart open.
Like that's just super weird.
We need to call that TV show. Hunting for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Like right as you said that, they're like, "Oh, give him Bigfoot."
All right, let's go ahead and tap Isaac out. That's about 11 minutes total.
Here.
Yep. All right, let's get that head gear off, Taylor. Let's take a look at your images. Don't get up.
You'll see.
Did you hear anything relative to Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
Big Ghost Hunter laughs at Bigfoot hunters. That's hysterical. So let's take a look at these images to see what he has. There's one more coming through.
I heard you say peaches a couple times. I was like,
So this one actually just popped up when I took it off. So obviously we have some kind of like desert 1800s looking tumbleweed looking thing in there. Again, no relevance to me unless it's a specific location.
what the heck?
Oh my God.
That's literally like, wait, I don't know how else to describe that.
That is hysterical.
Like, I have no idea.
And yet
Wait, what was the guy?
another Sasquatch sighting on
That
a
is
ghost sighting.
so weird.
It's the weirdest
Weird as
thing.
it is. Wow.
Like weird things in the sky. I'm not sure what those things in the sky were. But...
And then
Wait,
he's
what
got.
was that rider?
Oh,
And then this was the first picture that he would have saw. So
that
it
would scare
looks
me.
like a bird in a window.
It was
he said.
really odd.
Yeah,
But I don't-
that looks like an owl.
It does look like a full-blown owl in there.
Yeah, an
So
owl,
now that
yeah.
you can zoom in on it.
Yeah, I couldn't see. It looked like a
Oh.
turkey almost.
The giblets on
Yeah.
it. Nice. The turkeys and Sasquatch. What's
And
for dinner?
peaches.
And peaches.
Yeah.
that's just because
Yeah, that's an odd set, guys. I won't lie.
I do have lemons on my skirt.
Did this
That's
show up for
weird.
you at all?
Yeah, that was when I put it on. But I didn't know if that was like the. It
don't know.
looked like something. I don't know. It was an odd, like a weird face.
I mean, it almost, yeah, but it looks like there's like wood paneling in the back of it.
It was. That was when I put it on. That's what I was seeing.
Yeah, because a lot of times.
And then
it'll
it
pick-
went to cloud.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was just like a
Well,
screen.
Usually,
Like,
it's not. That's why I tell you the screensaver is the moving smoke.
yeah, that was.
And that's why I was like, you gotta tell us whatever you're seeing, because a lot of times it'll pick up on something like right away, and I try not to look at it and hurry up and slide it into your head here, but that way you guys actually have it. So it
Yeah.
looks like we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total pictures. So
And that is picking up on what?
So it's using the magnetometer of the phone to be able to interpret any high EMFs, and we did get a 19.6. So it's basically your phone emits and receives EMF. So it's using that to interpret it into an AI image. So when I use AI, I use a lot of for marketing. So there are original pictures, and then I just put the Stories in a Cemetery stamp on it, and now I own it. And I have to tell my phone like what I want it to create. So I'll be like, hey, I need a bust of Henry Timrod with a tree next to it, and it's dark and it's a full moon, and it'll give me that kind of image in whatever style that I want. It's really cool, and I use it all the time now. Like my wife makes fun of me because she's my graphic designer, and she's like, stop doing that. I'm like, well, you don't have time for my business anymore. You're in school.
This will do it in 1 minute.
Yeah, this will do it in a few seconds, and I'm good. Super exciting. Definitely irrelevant of everything that actually just occurred. So, and completely unsuccessful night as far as the SS and the VR headset. Again, I got to get a hold of the Bigfoot hunters because we had 2 sightings in one evening. Right here in
Keep your
Charleston.
eyes out.
I know, right? So I'm going to start collecting your gear. I am excited about that 19.6 that was caught because we don't always get it during these sessions. Normally, if we get like a really good, like where I consider at least 4 questions were answered, I'll send the EMF detector person just on a quick round robin to see if there's anything else being caught. And then I obviously collect all the
How were you
devices.
guys answering the questions of what I said?
We weren't.
I was asking you questions and you go.
Oh, was I supposed to say yes and no?
No, you
You were
didn't hear
supposed
anything.
you're not supposed to hear me.
Oh,
No, that's
It's
the
supposed
point.
to, yeah, it's supposed
wait,
to.
wait, so was I doing that right?
You're doing
Oh,
it
You
right.
were doing just fine, but the ghost didn't want to answer us.
Oh, okay.
So again,
Bigfoot.
oh, go ahead and stop. You see that little switch at the very top
Like,
above the numbers? On the,
like right here? Oh,
yep.
right here.
Yep. Go ahead and click it the opposite way. There you go. So that way we have.